Before we start, it is important to make sure you have all of the materials needed for this demonstration. In front of you, you should have 2 beakers, each with 500 milliliters of room temperature water, a paper cup, a beaker of salt, a scale, a glass stirring rod, a metal scooper, a beaker with 2 blue ice cubes in it, and then 1 spoon. If you are missing any of those materials, please just raise your hand and call me over. Thank you. Hi guys, welcome to our demo today. During this video, I'm going to walk you through a demonstration that you will be doing at your desk. So as you are playing the video, you can just pause it when you're ready to take action and complete the task that I'm asking you to do. Our goal today is you will end up having 2 beakers, both with 500 milliliters of water, same temperature water. One will be regular water and the other one will be salt water. We're going to dissolve some salt into it. And then we are going to take blue ice cubes. We'll put 1 blue ice cube into each beaker, and then we're going to see which one will melt faster, the one with regular water or the one with salt water. Okay, so our question today is if we have 2 beakers of water, 1 salt water, 1 regular fresh water, and we put 2 ice cubes in the water, which water, the regular or the salt water, will melt the ice cubes faster? So what you're going to do is think about that question and you're going to make a prediction. Through this demonstration, we're going to practice our science skills, making predictions, qualitative and quantitative observations, and then also making inferences, trying to explain, why are we seeing what we're seeing? Okay, so at this time, I want you to talk with your partner and think about which type of water do you think will dissolve the ice cube the fastest, the fresh or the salt, and record your response for your prediction on your paper. All right, so if you look at your handout, right here where it says prediction/hypothesis, this is where you're recording your prediction for this demonstration. And if you notice in the directions, it's highlighted right here. I also would like to know why you are making the prediction you are making. So you're going to write down whether your prediction involves you think the regular water will dissolve the ice cube or melt the ice cube the fastest, or the salt water, and then why you're thinking that. Okay, please don't forget to write why. You can pause this while you're writing. When you're done, all you have to do is hit play. All right, so now that you have your prediction recorded, we are ready to set up this little demonstration. It's not really a lab, we just call it a demo, okay, to practice our science skills. So what you're going to do first is we need 50 grams of salt. So to do that, we are going to use a scale to measure out 50 grams. Start by hitting the on button. When I push on, it's very important that at the bottom right, you see a little lowercase g because that shows us that we're on the right units. If it says ounces, like OZ, then on the left-hand side of the balance or scale, it says units. You can click that until it says grams. So if I keep clicking it, now it's back to grams. Okay, and it should read 0.0. We are going to be putting the salt into this paper cup, but we don't want to measure this, the mass of this cup as part of our 50 grams of salt. So what we'll do is take the paper cup, place it on the scale, 3.4 grams this cup is. Okay, we're going to do what we call zeroing out the scale. So at this time, you're going to click the on and off button. It also says 0. That's called zeroing out the scale. So I clicked the 0 button, and now with the cup on the scale, it's reading 0.0, which is perfect because we want to measure out 50 grams of salt. So you have a scooper and a little beaker of salt. Take your time, and you're just going to keep putting the salt into the cup while you're watching the reading. And once it gets to 50.0, okay, once it gets to 50 grams, then you have your salt and it's ready to go for the next step. So right now I'm just measuring out 50 grams of salt. I noticed that I'm only at 5.6, so I'm going to just kind of dump a lot of the salt right in here. As it starts to get closer to 50, I'm going to slow down. All right. I'm going really slow because I'm almost there. All right, 50.0 even. If you get a little over, you can scoop a little out, but right now mine says 50 grams even, so I'm good to go. So the next step would be to take this salt and dump it into the beaker that has 500 milliliters of water in it, but it's labeled salt water. So you have one beaker labeled salt water. Make sure the salt goes in the right beaker. Dump it in. And then we have a glass stirrer. These break very easily, so be careful as you're stirring the salt. Again, take your time. They do break easily, but I wanted to give you experience using the different tools in science. So I'm taking my time, I'm stirring the salt till it dissolves. Again, you can pause this while you stir if you'd like, or just follow along with me. You can always rewind if you need to too. All right, so overall it's pretty dissolved. It doesn't have to be perfect. I stirred it for quite some time. And you can clearly tell that the white cloudy one is the salt water, but I have it labeled on the beaker. It's important in science to always label your belongings or materials. Just gonna keep everything I'm working on the tray. Okay, and then I have the regular water here. I will have a cooler with the blue ice cubes. I'll assign a helper to place the ice cubes in your beaker. If you want to use gloves, you can, but we're gonna use the spoon to scoop the ice cube into each salt. So you've already made your prediction as to which water will dissolve the ice cube the fastest, the regular water or the salt water. Now what we're going to do is once we put the ice cubes in the water, we're going to make sure we record our qualitative observations. And throughout this experiment, you'll think about what quantitative observations do you have? Okay, quantitative dealing with numbers. So what does 50 grams of salt look like? Okay, so you can think about the quantities we're using and measuring out. So now we have both of these beakers. We have our paper ready to write down our observations, any inferences. Before you scoop the ice cubes into each beaker, I just wanted to quick show you what you'll be recording and kind of where. So in a second, you're going to be putting one blue ice cube in each beaker. But take a look at your assignment sheet, the paper that you'll be recording your observations. It says, be sure to write very detailed observations. Consider drawing a picture of what you are seeing. Pictures are a great way to record your observations. You could also just write, detailed sentences as well, make little bullet points. You need at least 5 qualitative observations and 3 quantitative observations. If you run out of room, there's a spot on the backside for additional notes. Okay, so once you put those ice cubes in, as you're watching, this is where you're recording your observations. Once the ice cubes have completely melted, you're going to move on to the results, and you're going to answer which type of water melted the ice cube the fastest. And then I will explain the inference part when you're done. So you're going to continue this video, watch how I drop the ice cubes in each beaker, and then once they've dissolved, you'll hit play again on the beaker, and I'll explain the last portion of your assignment. We can just scoop one ice cube into each. Okay, and then you will just watch and see which one dissolves the ice cubes the fastest. Okay, which one are they going to melt faster in? And again, while you're watching, I'm looking for detailed observations. Okay, it'll be a lot of qualitative observations, and then we'll talk about inferences. Try to explain what you're seeing. Why do you think, what you see is happening? All right, good luck. All right, so now that you have gotten your results, it's time to circle which type of water melted the ice cube the fastest. Was it the regular water or was it the salt water? Okay, and you're moving on to the inference step. Take time to discuss the demo with your partner. Okay, talk about, why do you think you got the results you did? Record at least 2 inferences below. You're basically explaining what you saw and why you think you got the results you did. Why is it that the regular or salt water melted the ice cube the fastest? Okay, you're trying to explain what you saw. And you could talk with your partner, kind of bounce ideas off of each other and just try your best. It's okay if you get your explanation wrong. We're going to discuss it as a class, but I'm looking for you to really think about why you saw, what you saw. And I'm looking forward to reading your inferences. When you are done your inferences, don't forget to do your exit ticket if you look back at the original assignment sheet. Okay, awesome job. And then the last step, of course, would be to clean up and make sure that you're setting up the room like you found it for the next class. So you would empty out the beakers in the sink, and then you would also fill them up with 500 milliliters of water for the next class. Thank you. I appreciate your help.